All right, welcome everybody. This is Neil Winter with Matterhorn Business Development, and I'm here with Adi Arezzini.
Hi.
Adi is the owner, CEO? Both.
Yeah.
Of a tea company called Teami, which is based out of St. Petersburg, Florida, where we are today. Adi's actually been friends of the Winter family for some years, and about 4.5 years ago started this tea company, and I wanted to do an interview with her because she's actually had to do a lot with her two partners of starting a scratch business out of your bedroom, you mentioned?
Yeah, that's where it started.
Out of the bedroom into a 10,000 square foot warehouse, which is too small.
Yeah, we're bursting.
Bursting at the seams.
Totally.
With 10,000 square feet, moving to 13,000 square feet, and eyes on more, all in 4 short years. That takes a lot of work.
That's no joke, for sure. It takes a lot of work.
So why don't you tell us really quickly, for the people who don't know,
Yeah.
what is Teami Blends?
Okay.
What is it that makes you guys different? And just go into a little bit about what it is that you guys do here.
Yeah, so Teami is an all-natural lifestyle company, and what we do is we create tea blends that target problem areas for people that can provide natural solutions for those problems. So if somebody has slow metabolism, or they're super bloated, or they have been really eating healthy and working out for 2 months, but they can't seem to drop the weight, or they just had a baby and still can't drop the weight, or even they can't sleep at night. So there's all these natural problems that people have in their lives, and there's all types of solutions, whether it's medications, surgeries, changing your diet, exercise, and we wanted to give somebody an easy way to feel better just by incorporating tea into their lifestyle, because not everybody has the time or the desire to like go to the gym 5 times a week, because you might not be there. You might need a little bit of a more gradual start to your healthy lifestyle journey. So we
instead of just going from the couch to the gym 5 days a week.
Exactly.
There might be a gradient in there.
Totally.
Okay.
It might not be that easy. I mean, I know that I didn't start like from 0 to 60. So people want to feel better, and most people are not nutritionists. They didn't grow up learning about nutrition, about why this food causes them to feel this way, or to have acne, or to be bloated. And then they turn 25, 26, 27, and they start to see the effects of the food that they've eaten in the past on their bodies. So, long story short, that's why we created these different teas that provide solutions. Wow. And they're hand-selected teas, so they're very, very high quality, and they are easy to do on the go. Created these tumblers right here, which is probably one of my favorite things to carry around, because I can steep my tea on the go. I can put in more hot water and reuse it throughout the day.
And did you design that product?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, so just the whole purpose of Teami is to help people feel better and to live a happy, healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
That's
so
the
if I'm
purpose.
looking for Earl Grey tea,
No.
this isn't the tea blend for me.
No, it's
This
not.
is more of a health-related, something that's going to help me feel better.
Yes.
I noticed you have like a cleanse, a 30-day cleanse, is that correct?
Yeah, 30-day detox
A
program.
30-day detox program.
Yes.
And that's got different teas in it that all help the body naturally detoxify.
Yeah, our 30-day detox is by far our best seller, because you see and feel the most drastic results when you do that program.
Right.
Most people on this planet go to the bathroom like 1 time every 2 days. And there's people that go to the bathroom 1 time per day. People should be going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times per day, as far as like going number 2.
Right.
You know? And the reason that I created this detox is because I personally had this problem. A few years ago, I joined the Israeli Defense Forces, and I could not go to the bathroom.
Wow.
Like, the food was so bad because it's bulk made food. You don't really know what oils are in it, what salts are in it. You don't really know. It's like made for thousands of people at once.
It's not made for nutrition and health and,
No.
you know.
I mean, they try, but
For sure.
it's definitely not, didn't work for my body. So what happened is I would go to the bathroom once a week.
Wow.
Once a week. Like, do you understand?
That's not healthy.
How that, not just like how that isn't healthy, but how that feels.
Right.
As a woman, not being able to button up your jeans or your army uniform.
Right.
And I became addicted to coffee, because coffee was the only thing that made me go to the bathroom.
Wow.
And it got to such a point that I was like in so much pain because it looked like I was pregnant. My stomach looked like this big balloon.
Wow.
And it wasn't even fat. It was just hard, you
Wow.
know? Like I could touch it and it was just like as if someone blew a bunch of air into my stomach and I had this big belly. And I was exercising all the time. And I was a fitness instructor in the Army. Like this shouldn't be happening, you know?
Wow.
Like this should not be occurring. And so that was one of my main problems. And when I was in Israel, I had to get a colonic because, which is basically tube up the you know where to get you know what out as
Right.
much as possible. And I had to do that, and that didn't even solve it. It was kind of like a temporary fix.
Right, because the problem
Yeah.
was not handled yet.
Right? No, it was just like almost like just a Band-Aid. And then I finished my Army service, and I came back to the States to be a personal trainer and to teach spin classes and anything fitness and health related. And being at home and being able to cook my own food was one of the major factors that changed things for me. But I was still getting bloated. And I'm
Right.
cooking my own food, and I know what I'm putting into it. And I'm still getting bloated. And that kind of irritated me because I'm working out, I'm eating healthy, I'm sleeping enough. What is happening? At the time, I was 23 years old. You shouldn't be going through
That's
these.
not
It's
not normal for a young person.
Especially someone that I considered myself to be fairly healthy. I wasn't eating McDonald's every day. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So
So is that how you found the
that's why I made the detox.
Wow.
Because I was looking for a solution for myself. And once I tested it over and over and over again and saw that it did solve that problem for me, I wanted to help other people because there's no way I was the only one going through this.
Right.
And then I started talking to girls, and like they're like, "Oh my God, I'm bloated too. Oh my God, every time I go eat out with my boyfriend, I get bloated." And like you just don't feel comfortable.
Right.
So that's why I created the 30-day detox, and all of the other blends came as support systems for people that are trying to live a healthier lifestyle. And I created 5 blends, which was the detox,
Yeah.
which includes the skinny and the colon, the Teami Profit, Teami Relax, Teami Energy. Yeah, and then that's 5. That was 5. So those were the first blends that we started with.
So these blends are things that you created,
Mhm.
you tested, tried and true,
Mhm.
and they made you feel better.
Right.
So now, how does that translate into you deciding, you know what made you say, you know what, this is what I want to do? What is that? Because every entrepreneur, and I believe every salesperson,
Yeah.
they can sell anything that they believe in.
Yeah.
But there's something that has to make you decide, okay, I can sell it, but I want to do this. What
Yeah.
for you would you say inspired or drove you to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this full time. I'm gonna make this work.
You know, I think that it came from the mindset of I have nothing to lose, because I was living with my mom and I was a personal trainer and I had all these things going on. And my business partner, when I met him, he came from the coffee industry. So he knew more about this industry than I did.
Okay.
And he brought to the table his expertise in loose leaf tea, premium quality tea, blending tea. We did it together. And he said, you know, we could really do this, but I don't know anything about health or females or marketing or organization or personnel. You know, he's like,
Yeah.
I can, but there's other things that I can do, and we could really do this. And I remember looking at it, and this, my business partner,
Yeah.
I met him at a party. I didn't know him before, so I'm like, who is this sketchy guy trying to start a business with me? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I thought that it was really weird. But I had nothing really to lose. I was like, okay, if I do this for 6 months and it doesn't work out, I've lost 6 months. I still live with my mom. I didn't like risk my job for it. I didn't
Yeah.
make anything like that. So I decided to just give it a try.
It's like the only result of failing was just failing. It wasn't
Exactly.
like your life was over or
Yeah. And I asked a couple of business owners that were my friends, like, hey, what do you think, this is a good idea? And almost all of them were like, oh, business is hard, maybe. Like, they were more, so they didn't even, it's not like people were motivating me to do it. It was very an internal decision that I was like, well, let's just try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just that determination to want to do it, experience something new, try
Yeah.
it out.
I mean, I've always, since being 9 years old, had a job. So that demand of survival and income was very high for me.
Yeah.
How am I going to make enough income to provide food for the family? At the age of 15, those were the thoughts in my mind of what I was going through. So, I'm always looking for how could I provide better for my mom and for my family and not be in that same, cycle of poverty that I
Right.
was in. So I was always working out.
So there was a big goal there.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't just you.
It wasn't like a hobby. It wasn't like, let me
Right.
just try this. I'm like, let
When
me
you
just
decided,
yeah.
you went in.
I was like, let's try this. Let's try to do this, and see if I can make my passion for this detox program into a business.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Mhm.
And so now 4 years later, here we are, 10,000 square foot warehouse.
Yep.
3,000 more feet on the way, and
Mhm.
probably a lot more after that.
Hopefully.
And I walked through some of your production lines over here with your staff. You've got a crew over here that's just activating people to tell their friends and family about it. And you've got a crew over here talking to all the Facebook posts and celebrities and this and that. How did you start problem solving some of this stuff? Because in all honesty, as far as I know, this is a very unique product.
Yeah.
With the types of blends, where it comes from, the way it's sourced. Everything runs through this warehouse. How did you start working through what worked and what didn't work?
In the beginning, I personally believe in this, that you have to do everything yourself. Because a lot of people try to outsource things that they don't fully understand themselves. And the only way that you're going to know if something works or not is to see the common denominators between when you were doing it and not doing it. Is it important? Is it not important?
Right.
So when we first started the company, my business partner was like, okay, so we're going to get our shipment of tea in and let's get some third-party company to do the packing. Like, we'll store it at their warehouse and they'll do the pick and pack for us.
We don't have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
he was like, let's do that. And I was like, no way. I'm doing it from my bedroom. He's like, why? I'm like, number one, we can't afford it. Like, we're not making any money, so
Right.
I'm not going to put it on a credit card because that's not how I work.
Yeah.
And number two, how do I know if I'm getting ripped off if I haven't done it myself? And
I believe that it's good to do it yourself so that you can actually get a process that works.
Right.
And you know
Right.
that this is what works, this is how we need to do things.
Exactly. And I know for myself, I called around to these third-party shipping companies, and the way that those shipping companies work is they charge you for pick and pack. So if somebody orders, from my company and they order one product, they might charge me 25 cents to pick one product, and they might charge me 10 cents to pack the product.
Right.
But then every time what if somebody orders like 10 products from my site? So I'm getting penalized because I'm getting charged more every time that someone orders more of my products. So I was like, that is what made me not do it. Because then I'm like, oh, I sold 10 products to this person. Oh, but man, now I'm getting
It
charged
costs you more.
10 times
Yeah.
to do that. So I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna learn about this. So I got a thermal label printer in my bedroom. I had Tupperware, like these big containers that I got from Walmart
Yeah.
in my bedroom stacked. And that's when I would do all of the packing myself.
Wow.
And that's why when people come in here, they're like, oh, why don't you just have another fulfillment center do what I do here?
Right.
I was like, no way. I know what this is, and we get way better rates. And the quality control that it's in-house is the best. And back to your question, that's the only way that I knew is by doing it myself. And so we did the warehousing myself. And with orders come warehousing and packing, and with orders come customer service issues. So
That's
I was
right.
handling that too. Customer service questions, where's my tracking order?
So then you started getting these questions and these problems, figuring out how to solve
Right.
it, know what works, and then you can hire somebody to come in and say, this
Teach it
is
to
how
them, yeah.
you teach them and say, this is how we handle this.
Right, this problem. Or, if I was getting a lot of feedback like, man, people in Washington, it takes them a long time to get their products, so at least I can let them know, like, yeah, you're on the other side of the United States, so you're going to take, 5 to 6 days to get your product, where somebody in, New York is going to take 2 days. But I had a lot of understanding about that because I was hearing the customers' feedback, like
Right.
every day. What are they saying? What problems are they having? And from there, I can then create a process or a manual to do that. And the same thing, so after there's the pick and pack, then you have the customer service issues, but then you go to the issue of promotion. How do I promote this so that people go to my website and then you start the cycle? And I started working with social media influencers. And that's where a lot of the trial and error came in.
So social media was a huge factor.
It was the only factor.
Wow.
It was the only factor. I can't walk into Whole Foods and be like, hi, I just started this business. I sell this tea. Like, can you put it on your shelves? I'm not experienced. I don't know the lingo, the terminology that they're using.
Yeah.
I don't have enough inventory. I don't have any stats to show them that I'm even a good company.
Yeah.
Like, just because you created something, you have to have stats. The store is going to say, well, how many have you sold?
Yep.
And I hadn't sold any. So social media allowed me to talk to my customers directly and work with people that are willing to promote my company and get the word out.
And now that this has built up to where it is, you mentioned to me, now the brick and mortar is starting to open.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can sit here and you can say, well, this is my brand, this is my product,
Yeah.
look what we have. And
Yeah.
now it's like in demand from
Right.
the brick and mortar type aspect.
Right. That's true.
But it all started because of the social media aspect.
Yeah, because you have to prove yourself in some way. And I found it very difficult to prove myself without having like actual orders to come through.
Right.
And I only started the brick and mortar like 7 months ago.
Wow.
Because I did not, it's such a area that I don't know. I don't understand. So I'm just
You have to hop back
starting
in and figure it out.
Figuring it out. Like me and the girls that work for me in the retail section, like every day we're like, well, that's cool. We ain't learned, I didn't know that.
You got to
know?
learn something new daily about it.
Yeah, like sometimes I'll be on the phone with some retailer and they'll ask like, can you do blah, 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 and they'll use acronyms. And I'm like, yes, I can do that. I'm like Googling like, what is this?
While you're on the phone.
Yeah, while I'm on the phone, like, what is this? Yes, I can do that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just figuring it out. I tried before I started the retail department.
Yeah.
I Googled like how to get your product into stores. And then there was nothing anywhere. I'm like,
Wow.
There's nothing anywhere of really how you do it. It's basically knocking on doors. Knocking on doors. Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here. Hey, this is my company. And outflow and reaching out to people and doing
Using
that and
connections.
following up consistently.
Takes a lot of follow-up.
consistently. Like, it might take you 6 to 9 months to get a response back from somebody.
Wow.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody who wants to jump into the retail market?
I think to continue, like, don't give up.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if you're trying to get into Ulta, okay, which is a brand that I'm going into, so we're going into Ulta.com, and I emailed them for like 6 months before I got a response from anyone, but I emailed
Before you even got a response.
any response. And
So you just found an email address and just started emailing them.
basically.
Wow.
But I didn't find just one email address. I emailed like 50 people at the company. Like, hey, this is what I do. Here are some of my stats. Blah blah blah. Are you the right person to talk to? And I didn't get a response from anyone until one day I magically did.
Wow.
I don't think that I did anything special that I got a response, but I got someone on the line and then I sent them samples right away with a handwritten note. I don't
Yeah.
know, does that affect it? Does that not? I don't know, but with social media these days and less human connection, when you write a personal note, you're adding that personal
I
connection
absolutely
into
agree.
it.
In a sense, I believe the social media and technology almost separates people to the point where that personal touch
Yeah.
goes so much further.
And that's good for people like that are in sales that understand personal touch, because then you can leverage that and say, my company does personal touch in these ways, and your company obviously is corporate and is very to the masses.
Yeah.
And my company is more homey and, of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, how long did it take to go from your bedroom to like actually hiring another person and getting some sort of a space of your own or something like that? How long would you say that took?
I would say that it took maybe 9 months.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there was 9 months. It wasn't like overnight you just started selling millions of pounds of tea.
No.
It was like a process.
Yeah, and even at 9 months, the only people that I had on my team were contractors.
Wow.
And I didn't have any actual employees. I was running, I'm not going to say that. That's not, yeah.
How many staff now? 40?
40, yeah.
40 staff, and
Yeah.
probably soon to be growing more.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing with the personnel, because you have to make sure that you can withstand the people that you're bringing on.
Of course.
Which is interesting.
And it has to be a tight-knit group, a tight fit.
Yeah.
But I imagine with a lifestyle product like this, the main thing is finding other people who agree with the same lifestyle
Yeah.
and bringing them on.
Totally.
I think that's probably actually in some ways easier than hiring a receptionist at an attorney's office or something
Yeah.
like that. Like
Yeah.
somebody who's already motivated or into that lifestyle is probably a good type of candidate to hire.
It is, but there's also the other side of that, because I like to hire people that want to live a healthy lifestyle. So they may not be right now, but they have interest in that.
Right.
So maybe somebody isn't healthy and motivated right now, but they're like, man, I would love a work environment where other people are happy and healthy and motivating, instead of working at an attorney's office where that is not at the forefront of their mind.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So any type of person that is on board with my mission.
Yeah.
And we have something called the Teami personality, which is the type of personality that you have to bring to work, and you have to be that person. And that's one of our onboarding policies that they read, like, what is the Teami personality, so that they understand what we expect of them, not even based off of production, but just based off of
So when you hire
who they
somebody,
are.
there's like some policies that they have to read.
That's after they're already hired. And
Yeah.
when we're interviewing somebody, we're looking like, does this person match the Teami personality or not? And it's very simple. Like, usually you'll see in the first couple of weeks, like, they're not going to make it,
Yeah.
because they stick out when they don't fit. They stick out like
It's
a
very
sore
true.
thumb, you know?
It's very true.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, a lot of business owners, they feel like they have to fill a position, and so they hire the position and not the person.
I've done
and
that
they
plenty
end
of
up
times.
getting stuck with a mistake.
I've done that so many times, and I've made so many mistakes. It's unreal the amount of mistakes that
Yeah.
I've made, and I'm still making. Like,
Of course.
it's-
I mean, it's a
it's-
learning experience every day.
It is, but like personnel and hiring,
Yeah.
you never know. It's like you never know what you're gonna get. You know, you could have hired somebody that in the interview was like so amazing, and then they were really good at PR, but they couldn't actually produce anything valuable.
They couldn't do what they said that they
Couldn't.
were going to do.
Yeah, or like there's a lot of times where like the learning curve might be hard for them. Like
Yeah.
they can't learn this new skill that I need them to learn.
Yeah.
So you kind of it's always different. It's
Yeah.
always different.
Well, that's part of being an executive, right? You
Yeah.
gotta. But I love what you said about doing the job yourself.
Yeah.
And learning it
Yeah.
before turning it over to another person.
Right.
So that you yourself, being at the top,
Mhm.
know what is going on underneath you, and you're not
Totally.
blind to it all.
Totally.
Now, how many? I asked earlier, and I was wrong. I said, how many pounds of tea do you move? And you said
Yeah.
that's like, you can't even figure it out, right?
Mhm.
But we went from You went from working in your bedroom or out of
Yeah.
your bedroom to now. I mean, how many packets of tea or boxes are you guys moving on a monthly basis? Like, how much comes through? Because I'm looking at all this. I mean, there's
Well,
a lot
that's-
happening.
That's an interesting question that I don't know if I can answer off the cuff.
Yeah.
But I can answer a different question.
Go right
Which
ahead.
is like I'm not talking about number of tea sold, but I'm talking about number of customers helped.
Yeah.
Like number of people that went to my website or to my Amazon store and purchased one or two or five of my products. So it could be
Purchased a product.
Purchased anything.
Number of people
Number of people.
helped.
So we're looking at an average of 16,000 people a month.
Wow.
That's the volume. And they could be ordering just a tea. They could be ordering a tea and a tumbler. They could be ordering the tea, a tumbler, and a face mask. It's up to them what they're looking to order.
Yeah.
But that's what we're looking at in combination with our website and Amazon together, and that does not include retail sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just from digital
Yes.
and social platforms, basically.
Yeah. And that also does not include products that we sell through places like Zulily.com, Jane.com. That is not included in those numbers. That's
Wow.
additional.
I really like that statistic. Number of people helped.
Yes.
Do you guys actually track that? Is
Yes.
that, yeah?
Like that's a
I
number
think
of orders.
that is-
Number of orders, I call it like number of people helped.
No, absolutely. So basically, you could say you've got 16,000 people per
Helped.
month that you guys are helping, and
Yeah.
that number's obviously growing each month
Mhm.
as it keeps building and rolling along.
Yes.
Where do you see that being in the next year? Do you have a goal of how many? What's your goal in the next year that you're trying to shoot for?
Yeah. Let me think if I have the exact number. I think last year, I feel like we had 120,000 people helped.
Wow.
No. Maybe we I'm gonna do my phone. Can I pull my phone out?
Sure,
Okay.
sure, yeah.
Let me, because I can actually get you the number because I wrote it down.
Because one of the things I always like to do with any business owner or business that I talk to is kind of like, what's the goal?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
what
for
is it that
sure.
we're shooting for? And
have
16,000
always-
a month is a great number.
Yeah, I can't see it all right now, but I think our goal is about 120,000 people helped in 2018. I think that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
I think that last year we had just shy of 100,000.
Okay.
So I'm looking for about 120, but I'm not 100% sure about that number.
Yeah.
I have it written down on an Excel sheet somewhere.
Well, if you're doing 16,000 a month,
Right.
you're gonna well exceed.
Yes. So that's why I'm not sure of my numbers.
Yeah.
right now.
No, that's
but
fine.
I definitely am looking for, a big increase. It's difficult scaling a business because you see tremendous growth in the first 2 years, and then the third and fourth year you're like, wait, I wanted to see those big spikes again, and you might still be increasing. Maybe you're growing 10 to 15% annually, but
Which is still a solid number.
I know, but I was so upset last year. Last year I grew like 14.5%, and I was super upset.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with my life. I'm a loser.
I'm a failure.
I'm a failure. How did I grow so little? 'cause
Yeah.
last year was a struggling year. Last year was not an easy year for us, with everything that happened. So, yeah, looking for more of those.
So it was a struggling year, and you were up 14.5%.
I know, I can't
Wow. Wow.
I know.
That's tough.
I sound like my husband is always making fun of me because I'm like, oh, well, we didn't grow enough. And he's just like, you're amazing. Stop talking. But I'm really looking for the 20 to 30% growth, because if my stat is number of people helped, then I only helped 14% more people in the entire year than I helped last year. That's not enough people helped.
Right.
So I need to put more, like my foot on the gas and try to grow. And
Yeah.
at the end of the year, you see where the chips fall, and you validate yourself for the things that you did do and the staff that killed it and the
Yeah.
whole team. But it's definitely the hardest thing I've ever done is being a business owner.
Yeah.
It's by far the hardest, most challenging thing I have ever done in my life.
But I would assume you wouldn't have it any other way.
No, I wouldn't. But I definitely have those days of like, oh my God, I just want a job. Like,
So what would you tell somebody who's watching?
Yeah.
Another entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to grow what you've done in 4 years out of your bedroom to this, it's fantastic.
Thank
and
you.
no matter even if you feel like you haven't helped enough people, it's still amazing. But what would you say to somebody else who maybe is where you were at the 7-month mark?
Mm-hmm.
You're just about to start growing and they're thinking, should I just go and get another job? What would you say, what advice would you take out of that you might tell somebody else?
Okay, so two things. If the person is like, should I just go get a job? Number one, do you have passion behind what you're doing? Because that's what's the purpose, and the passion behind what you're doing is what's going to keep you on the days that you want to quit. Like that in itself.
You have to have a fire.
Yes, because it's really easy to ignite your own fire, to reignite it.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a fire to begin with, or a purpose to begin with, it's really easy to quit. So that's number one. And number two is, if the person is like thinking about quitting or stopping or anything like that, I wouldn't quit until you've actually failed. Like until you failed, like until you're broke, like, because that's, a lot of people think, well, I'm a failure. I didn't hit my numbers this month, or I'm a failure because I didn't grow enough, or
Right.
I'm a failure because no one knows about me still. Or
Right.
I'm a failure because I only have 100 followers on Instagram, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you haven't failed unless you can actually see that you failed. Like, can you write down on a piece of paper, like, oh, I'm negative $10,000 in my bank account? That's a real thing.
Right.
But just because you feel like a failure doesn't mean that you are. You have to look at the facts. So number one is have passion and purpose, and number two, like,
Don't give up.
Don't give up unless there's actual reason to give up. Just keep going.
Keep using that drive to keep
Yeah.
you moving. That's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we, before we end off here,
Mhm.
anything that you'd like to maybe plug your Facebook page, or how can people contact you
Yeah.
guys and find out more about Teami and what it is that you're doing? I mean, I noticed you have like 108,000 Facebook followers or something
Yeah.
like that. Where can people go to buy your product or find out more about Teami?
Sure. So you can follow us on @Teami Blends on Instagram. It's Teami Blends also on Facebook. You can buy our products on our website, which is www.teamiblends.com. And I hope that you join our Teami community, because we'd love to have you.
And I want to thank you guys for watching. And I want to thank you, Adi, for having us and speaking advice to other entrepreneurs and other people that are out there, because I think that information like you just went over, I think really changes. I think that's another person helped.
Yeah, I agree.
I know it's a different statistic than the online order, but
I'll help your statistic.
that's what we're going for. We want to just help more people.
Definitely.
So thank you very much for
Thank
your
you so
time.
much, Neil.
Congratulations on what you're doing.
Thank you.
And let's do like a 30% growth this year.
Okay, I'm about it.
Okay, I
Yeah.
will help you with that. All
Great.
right.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So feel free to look in the description down below for more information on Teami. We'll have some links in there, and also to our Facebook page at Matterhorn Business Development, as well as our YouTube channel. Subscribe for more interviews and information like this, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Bye.